everybody. Welcome to the channel. My name is Lindsay, and this is Life with Lindsay. Today we have a WIP chat for you. I am very excited. This is a new WIP. I'll touch base on that in a moment. But if you're new here, hi, welcome. My name is Lindsay. I do mainly diamond painting and some other crafting related content, and I would love for you to like, subscribe, hit the bell, hop aboard the Hot Mess Express. Let's all be friends. If you've been here before, hi, welcome. Thanks for coming back. So, if you'd like to see the unboxing for this, this is Burnout from Crystal Canvas Arts Designs. I will leave that up in the eye for you. So I touched base a little bit in my last video, I guess, about, I don't have my replacement drills. And I saw somebody else say that they had gotten their replacement drills from Canada, or not Canada. Let me rewind. If you have no idea what I'm talking about, which is very plausible, I've been working on a Hannah Lynn kit from Oraloa, and I unfortunately ran out of drills on a certain color on the first day. And I did reach out to the company. They are sending me replacement drills, but due to a family emergency with their customer service team in Canada, they are shipping them directly from France. Now, my guess is it's literally like, hey, here's an envelope, we sent it to you. Because no tracking was provided, even when I asked if there was tracking. And they explained that perhaps there's a language barrier, and that's where the confusion is coming from. And I'm like, oh, okay. I haven't really been diamond painting this week because I've just been kind of like hopeful that it'll show up. But now I'm realizing like I can't just sit around and wait. So I have this one that I kitted up, and I actually have another one underneath it for when I finish this one in case it does take a while. I have no idea. I'm just kind of flying by the seat of my pants. But this is an all crystal kit. I've done one previously. I want to say that was like the first year I started diamond painting, and I had a really difficult time with the crystal drills and the lights bouncing from the overhead lights and the light pad and all of the things, and they were giving me a headache, and it was really, really difficult to work with. So I'm not sure how well this will work out. I'm hopeful, because it's been so long, but we'll see. But anyway, I'm going to pull, I have a little trash container from, I'm spacing who gave me that. But I'm going to put my trash for this event, geez, words, for this canvas in there, because I still have my trash from my Oraloa one in here, because I'm not done. Anyway, that's a lot of rambling. I hope that you guys are all well. Interestingly enough, we canceled our cable, and somehow we still have cable, so now I need to figure out what's going on with that. But we can't figure out how to access our streaming platforms without having the cable box. So my husband got an Ethernet cable and plugged it into the router directly, and it still isn't working. So fun times. Anyway, I hope that you guys are all
this morning?
No.
Okay.
I don't know what I was saying now. Anyway, so I guess I'll just talk about my week. I hope that you guys had a good time, a great weekend. What were you all up to? My daughter has sharing circles on Monday, and so use this as an opportunity. Let me hear what you would tell your sharing circle. What fun things did you do over the weekend? And if you're not watching this in real time, like, tell me something exciting about your week so far. You know? But yeah, so last Sunday, my husband had to work, and my kiddo and I spent our day together, and we ended up taking him to work and then going to get brunch, which we went to Iron Hill for brunch. I don't recommend. I like Iron Hill for their food, but I will tell you, like, there's a couple pet peeves I have in this world. One of my biggest pet peeves is if you are somewhere that specializes in breakfast, learn to cook eggs. Period. Point blank. There is nothing more annoying when you ordered, like, poached eggs, like Eggs Benedict, and they are snotty. I don't mean runny eggs. I mean, like, snotty eggs. Like, I don't cook it the right amount. Or when you order eggs Benedict or poached eggs and there's no runny yolk. I understand if you don't specialize in breakfast and maybe you don't cook those items quite as much, but like, that was not the first time that week that I actually had an issue with somebody's brunch. But anyway, so for those who do have an Iron Hill near them, they don't all do breakfast or brunch now. But I will say that the ones that do brunch, you know, unless you like super, super love the things that are on their brunch menu, I don't really recommend. And you might be saying to yourself, but why, Lindsay? Why don't you recommend it outside of the snotty eggs? So they don't have anything on their breakfast menu that doesn't already have a counterpart on their dinner menu. And I get that's how you become more profitable, by only selling things that you already have instead of like having to bring in new things. So like they had a sausage and gravy, but it was like the andouille sausage that they have for another recipe, and like they recycled different ingredients, but none of them really translated as well as I think they should have. So it was a bit disappointing, but it's always fun to like spend the time with my kiddo and have a good day. But yeah, and then also like they gave me a plate where the food took up the entire width of the plate. And I said, because they asked me to like fill out a survey about the food. And I said to our waiter afterwards, I was like, listen, tell whoever it is, like the powers that be, if they're going to serve this particular item, they need to put it on a bigger plate. Because there was no room to cut your food. I had avocado toast with an egg on it, and it was just okay, which is fine. But also, like, I literally could not, I had to, like, take things and put them on the table so that I had room to cut on my plate. And I don't know, like, do you guys, when you eat avocado toast, do you cut it or do you pick it up and eat it? Because I've never seen anybody just, like, eat avocado toast as toast. The only downside to doing an all crystal kit is that you deal with you can't have fresh wax or it'll like rip it right out. But also it wears your wax out really quick because they're special drills. So I'm already coming across that and I'm like 12 drills down. So yeah. Anywho, I also did a pop-up live with Erica to announce all of the details. I will link that one up in the eyes if you guys would like to see that. If you have no idea what I'm talking about, Erica, aka Kevin's wife, and I are hosting a diamond painting retreat in central Pennsylvania the first week of May. We would love for you to join us. We do still have spots available, and we are really, really excited. It's a fantastic price. It includes your lodging and your food. There is going to be a lot of fun times had by all. And I'm just really, really excited. And I really hope that somebody sees this who somehow missed the announcement and is like, this is perfect, I need to come. Because we would love to add just a couple more people to round out those final spots. And I would love to meet you all. And also, if you guys have any recommendations, I know the Facebook world of diamond painting groups is really big on no self-promotion, which I totally understand, and I am not opposed to that. However, if you know of any Facebook groups that you think would be beneficial that we could share this in without it being, like, against the self-promotion rules, please let me know, because we need to get more eyeballs on this. And we already posted it in the DP Retreat group. I've already posted it, obviously, in my own Facebook group. But we just want to make sure that we're not missing over anybody who really would otherwise love to know about this. So feel free. I had somebody ask me, can I share it with like the people on the TikTok community? And I was like, absolutely. If you have people that you know that might be interested in it, share all the information. I do have posts on here, on Facebook, on Instagram. So yeah. But that was a great little day that Sunday. We ended up playing outside we finally hit like a stride of like, ooh, nice weather. And then we got hit with like rain every single day. But it's been progressively getting warmer and warmer, so my kiddo wants to be outside, and my child looked like she got into a fight with, like, yellow powder, because she had rubbed a bunch of dandelions all over her face, and all of the pollen was all over her face. But if you don't get it off quickly enough, it, like, stains your skin. So that was super fun. And I was like, girl, you gotta wash your face. And she's like, okay. And then she comes downstairs, and I'm like, Briar, your face looks exactly the same as it did when I sent you upstairs. And she's like, what? I mean, I can't expect a 6-year-old to be able to wash her face with the same intensity that you'd expect an adult, but it is what it is. But we did that. We picked up my husband, and then we just grabbed some local dinner. The next day was our eclipse, which I feel like I talked about this in the last one, but that couldn't have been because of the timing. Oh, maybe I did. Maybe because I film on Mondays. But we unfortunately had a lot of, like, thick, heavy cloud coverage. So when we did get to see it, it was like maybe a couple seconds, and then the clouds would go over it again. But it was super nice. I really enjoyed being able to, like, stand out there with my kiddo and my husband, and, like, my daughter was totally fascinated with it, like, as she should be. That's a very cool thing. And we were in the path of, we weren't in the path of totality, but we were like 92%. So, I did get a couple cool pictures. I wrapped a pair of the glasses around my phone, because it could damage your phone, which I love, the people online who make it seem like it's woke culture. Your phone's not going to break. What are they trying to push on us? And I'm like, guys, seriously, we're literally just talking about if it's not safe for you to look at with your eyeballs, it's very plausible that, like, it could damage your really expensive equipment. Is it going to break your iPhone phone? Probably not, but it could. And do you want to spend another $1,000, $2,000 to replace your phone? I don't. I know, like, professional equipment, they make lenses specific for this so that you can get amazing photography. But I just, like, I laughed at the people that were saying that, and I was talking to my parents, because they were in a similar path as us, and my mom was like, yeah, I was having trouble seeing it, so I just didn't look at it with the glasses. I just used my eyes, and I was like, oh my goodness. I'm like, all right. And she's like, it's fine. My eyes are fine. They feel fine. And I'm like, okay, Mom. Like, you do you. I'm going to stay over here where my eyeballs are safe. I mean, listen, if you have parents, you know that parents tend to be more stubborn. They're not going to listen to what you have to say no matter what. And I'm like, okay, well, there's, like, scientific proof that you shouldn't be looking at the eclipse. And she didn't say, like, oh, I just looked at it real quick. Like, she was staring at the eclipse with her naked eyes. And I'm like, okay, Mom. So I'm not going to fight with her because, oh my God, I am just spilling drills on my desk. But yeah, that was our eclipse. It was super, super cool. Did you guys get to see it? And if you did, was anyone in the path of totality?
If you did you stare at it with your naked eyeballs?
With my naked eye, I saw. If you know that song, let me know down below. I love that song. And then, well, I don't want to give it away to the people. It's Luscious Jackson.
Okay.
Anyway, you guys, my husband is never here when I film on Mondays, which is why I've had people say to me, like, oh, I haven't heard your husband's ding in a while, because I film while my kid's at school and my husband's at work, but my husband is home right now. So if you hear all the chitter chatter, the additional comments, but it also means you'll hear the ding. So you have to take some, you take the good, you take the bad. You take them both. And there you have. I thought he was going to sing it, you guys. I thought he was going to sing it. My opening segment?
Yeah. The opening segment of your WIP Chat.
No. Anyway. That's why I don't film when he's in here, because I get distracted. I'm like, what is he talking about? Also, I know that you guys probably can't hear him, but then I also have no idea what I was talking about, because I'm like...
I usually wait till you're going to move to a new subject.
You have no idea what I was going to say next. You guys, I did not give him my notes. You're the worst.
I thought it was Veruca Salt.
No. Very of the era, though.
I know, I was wrong. I knew I was wrong, but I couldn't think of the name.
Holy shit, you guys. Did you hear that? I knew I was wrong.
Oh, God. You know way more about that era of music than I do.
I'm just pointing out that you admitted you were wrong on camera. That's all. Anyway. So, We went ice skating. It was our last session of the that session. It was the last class of that session, and it was Bring Your Friend Day. So Briar got to bring one of her friends, who actually did a really great job. They ended up moving her to one of the lower levels, which was expected because my kiddo fails to understand that just because she can ice skate doesn't mean that her peers know how to ice skate, because she's still like really little. And I had explained to her, because the last time we did this, she like ditched her friend, but she did really good. Her friend hung out with her for a little bit, and then they whisked her to a group that was more suitable for her. And she then told her mom afterwards, like, we're gonna sign up, we're gonna come. And I just made me giggle. But unfortunately, that was the last Monday session. So now I have to go back to the other rink for our Monday classes, which doesn't thrill me because the timing of it is just later in the day. And there's nothing worse than having a tired, hungry child that is up way past their bedtime because of youth sports. But it is what it is. We're trying to get in the right rotation of classes, group lessons, private lessons, learn to skate, all of that. So we'll see how things go this session and then kind of make adjustments for the next session if need be. Also, really annoying, for some reason, our rink, you can't add more than one session at a time. So I was trying to sign her up for Aspire, which is the next like level of learn to skate. So you have to have completed basic 3 up through single jumps. So it is more than just the 1 through 6 basic. So I wanted to sign her up for that, as well as one of the learn to skates, and pay for ice time for our private lesson. But God forbid I can put more than one thing in my cart. Nope. I put one thing on my cart and I go to add another one and it replaces it. And I'm like, can I? Because they charge you a credit card fee, which I was told, super boring stuff, but when they moved to this new system, that was like their selling point of like, there's no more credit card fees. There is a credit card fee, you guys. It drives me crazy. Because now I'm being hit with it for 3 purchases in a row. Like, I would really just rather have paid for all 3 of those things at once in one transaction, instead of flagging, my credit card company to be like, oh, she's buying a bunch of things in a row. So I have to email the director and be like, is there a way to do this so that I don't... It also makes it more complicated because I can't really see. Anyway, nobody cares. I'm going to just keep going. So, and then we went and got pizza afterwards, which for some reason, this one pizza place, I think it's the lights, just like set her off. She always wants to go. And then every time we go, it's like baby monster on the prowl. But I'm having trouble with the wax already. I've been working on this for what, like 15, 20 minutes, and I don't know. This is the only crystal kit that I have in my stash outside of the one that I did a couple years ago. Also, we have a smart thermostat, and it does not seem... The worst is when the weather is transitioning, because it has to learn your new routine. And I am just dying, because like I will turn the thermostat like way, way, way down. And then I'll be like, what is it at? And it'll have jumped and been like, oh, we set it back to 73 degrees. But it'll be hotter than that in the house because there's no air coming. I feel like I'm dying in my house this past week. Like right now, I feel incredibly hot, but I don't want to turn the big fan on because the big fan's super loud. And my little fan that I have had next to me for years is not as trusty as it used to be. And it only has like 1 functioning speed now, which is not ideal, but I will make it work. So yeah, long story short, I'm hot. The next day was Tuesday, took the kiddo to school, did a post office run for my husband. The last couple times that we've been to the post office, like the guy that works behind the desk has been like in his own land, but in his own like in La La Land, just doing whatever he wants. And the one day I waited so long, I was like, dude, I'm about to just not drop your packages off today. And then my husband had the same situation. He went, but he was there, dude was there. And I have to say, I don't understand. I'm a really big advocate for like a lot of things, but disability is one of those things that anybody can be a member of the disability community tomorrow. Anybody. And so it really blows my mind at how few places are accessible. So it's great they have a huge ramp from the sidewalk up to the front door, but they don't have push plates. And the doors are very, very heavy doors. They're like some doors you can open, they're much lighter to open. These are very, very heavy doors. Whether you are disabled or not, having arms full of packages and not having the ability to have a door automatically open or a push plate or whatever, like my husband is bigger than I am. So when he's carrying these things, he can see over his head, like over the top of the packages. But when I'm carrying 4 packages, I can't. And so I'm sitting there and I am desperately trying to open the door. Eventually, somebody came to help me because the problem is there's nowhere for me to like put one down and then open the door and squeeze in. So I was very, very frustrated. I was like, man, why is it like, whose decision was this? And there was a post in one of our local groups. I want to say it was Duck Donuts was talking about adding push plates. If you guys don't know what I'm talking about when I say push plates, those are the blue buttons that you have outside of a door and you push it and it swings the doors open. And push plates are great for anybody. They're great for people whose arms are full, people who need mobility aids, people carrying small children, people who just are like, they have weak hand strength, like whatever it is, there's so many people that could benefit. You don't have to be disabled to benefit from disability services. And this one person thought it was ridiculous that anybody would ever consider that like our tax dollars should ever go to paying for making buildings more accessible. And I was like, this is what people don't get. Like literally tomorrow you could wake up and be a member of that community. It's the only community, I mean, maybe it's not the only one, but it's the one that comes to mind where like they don't discriminate. Like you could absolutely have your whole world change and now you are here. Like your race isn't going to change. You know, that doesn't change. I don't know. It just really bothers me because we need to be friendlier to everybody and more accepting of everybody and not like, let's make things complicated. And then if you want to advocate for it, like being called out for being weak, it's like, that's not what being weak is. Ugh. I'm going to get off my soapbox. I slid a drill. But anyway, so, it was such a gorgeous day and I picked up the kiddo for like around lunchtime and I was like, do you want to go get acai bowls with mommy? And she was like, yeah, let's do that. And I was like, and if we have time, we can go over to Target because the Target's right there. She's like, okay, yeah, let's do that, mommy. So we did. I am a sucker for a good acai bowl, especially on a hot day. And we had such like a good little meal. Ran into a friend of mine. I was a little bit disappointed because she had said, oh, are you coming out for my birthday? And I was like, when? And she's like, this weekend. I was like, what? She's like, oh, my husband said he told your husband and he invited you guys. And the biggest thing is this particular friend, I adore her, but they are childless and always invite us to do things at like bedtime. And unfortunately, it doesn't seem to register that like she is a family member whose child is the same age as mine, but they have aunts and grandparents on both sides of the family that consistently and constantly watch that kid. I don't have that. And if it's a social situation, what ends up happening is only one of us can go in like this situation. And of course I asked my husband, I was like, did you know about this? And he's like, oh, he had said something about, like a bunch of people were going to go out. And I go, did he ever say that it was for his wife's birthday? And he was like, what? No. And I'm like, well, if I had known that it was for her birthday, like we could have tried to plan something out and make it happen. But, no, it didn't. And it is what it is. It's just really frustrating that, like, I don't know. I feel like if I was inviting people to come out for Brian's birthday, I wouldn't be like, hey guys, you want to come out on Saturday night? A bunch of us are going out. Oh, okay, cool. I'd be like, guys, we're going out for Brian's birthday. You guys want to come? I don't know. That's just me, maybe. But we went to Target. Do you guys know the Target birds? My daughter is obsessed with the Target birds. And she got 3 new ones. She got Starla and Bubba, which are their, like, patriotic ones. So I think that they're supposed to be for Memorial Day, because that's the next holiday. And then we got Junior, who has, like, the little inner tube, but he has little glasses on. We already have a couple from Valentine's Day. She just loves these little birds. If you don't know what I'm talking about, they are, I don't know, a couple inches tall. They're all the exact same bird. They just dress them up differently. And they are seasonal. So they go by season or holiday. And they are just these cute little birds. She loves birds. If you guys didn't know that, she's like a bird kid. Like specifically, like, ducks are her number one. But she also, every time she sees a bird, she's like, look, mommy, it's a robin. I'm like, I don't think that every bird whose stomach is that color is a robin. But she just loves birds. She'll, like, stand at her window, like real life Cinderella, real life Snow White, and, like, talk to the animals. I'm like, do they talk back to you? Do they tell you to listen to your mommy and daddy? Can they? But then we picked up my husband, and I was very, very excited. I didn't give him an option, and I said, we're going to KPOT tonight. So a new KPOT finally opened. If you guys don't know what KPOT is, it is both hot pot and Korean barbecue. And if you don't know what either of those are, hot pot is, think of it like fondue with broth. Like, you have a pot of boiling liquid and you have all these items that you can order and they cook in the broth. But because it's broth, the more you put in there, the more it changes the original flavor of the broth. And then Korean barbecue is where the grill is in the middle of the table and, like, you cook your own food. Everything is sliced super thin, so it doesn't take forever to cook. And we went, it was like literally had opened the day before and it was so good. We did both. I have done hot pot once with Briar and we had no idea what we were doing and nobody explained anything to us. We just wanted to try it. And then none of us had done Korean barbecue and we've wanted to, we just don't have access to that in the area we live. And so we were really excited. And, you know, my husband was hesitant for the fact that it was like, it just opened. He didn't want to wait a really long time, but we got in, we got seated right away. Now there was a wait by the time we left, but it was so much fun, you guys. It was such an experience. And I would 100% go back again. I will say, so KPOT is like a chain. If you guys have one near you and you're curious about it, I will say the only thing that I'll call it a downside, but you can decide it for yourself, is that everyone at the table has to do the same thing. So if you want to do hot pot, but your partner wants to do Korean barbecue, you either have to decide on just the one for the both of you, or you pay the $5 extra and you do both. For me, and it's all you can eat. So for me, the extra $5 was 100% worth it. Our kiddo ate like very, very minimal. She has a tendency to wait until everybody else is done eating to start eating, which is going to bode really well for her when she starts school and she doesn't understand that, like, you have a limited amount of time to eat at school. She thinks she knows, but she don't know. I just realized that the way I labeled these might not have been the wisest. Like, I just put the number that corresponds on the legend, but not the symbol. So that sucks. I might have to relabel some of these. Anyway. So we had a really good time. We really enjoyed it. And I would absolutely go back. So we were talking, my husband and I were talking, like, maybe when she does, like, her full day camp program, we'll go for, like, their lunch. And again, it's all you can eat. So, you know, it's not cheap, but I thought it was well worth the value of what we paid. But we will say, if you want to do it, we highly recommend the beef and the pork bulgogi. They were both beautifully marinated, super, super scrumptious. I really like the brisket for the hot pot. We each got our own hot pot broth. So But anyway, that was our super, super fun. And the next day it was work, school. I had a chiropractor appointment, picked up the kiddo, went to the market. We didn't get like a full market run in this week, which I've learned if I don't get the input of my family for like meal planning on Sundays, it tends to throw off everything we're going to do for the rest of the week. Because I like to go to the market or have grocery deliveries on Monday. And it was just, I don't know, we just didn't get to it. So we just ran to the market to grab like 2 days worth of food, I guess. I don't know. Like one day she wanted to have Mississippi pot roast. So I had the chuck in the freezer and I had the mashed potatoes and I had the seasonings and stuff. I just didn't have the pepperoncinis, which it's ridiculous that the jarred pepperoncinis, not a single one of the ones on our shelf didn't have artificial coloring in it. So I ended up getting, I think, sliced hot banana peppers, but only one brand had it without the yellow 5 in it. I'm like who is like, you know what? I need these neon green peppers to look more yellow. Like they're already a vibrant I don't get it. And if you guys have no idea what I'm talking about, we don't do any artificial coloring in our food with our kiddo. It's what works for our family. I know it's not what works for everybody's family, but ooh, did I just find a new trick? Probably not. Where are the ones I missed? So I just poured the color that I missed right here into the lid. Oh, that did work. Okay, cool. I'm not done that color. Look at me, about to put it away. Nope. And then I had placed an order. I was talking to my husband about this, and he was like, you can do an online order at Five Below? I'm like, yes. Except for that it's only for things that are in stock, which I feel like a lot of things that we want are never in stock. And if you don't do an in-stock item, Five Below costs like $7.95 to ship. I'm like, I'm not spending that much on a $5 item. But the point of this is that I had seen this targeted ad on Instagram, Facebook, whoever, and it was a rubber duck series with the Hello Kitty franchise. So it was Hello Kitty, Pom Pom Purin, My Melody, I think Keroppi. There were 6 of them. There were 2 different 3-packs. I think Choco Cap. I don't remember who it was, but either way, I was like, okay, I want this. But the problem is, I didn't want to be like, we're gonna go shopping in Five Below, because then my daughter wants to go shopping in Five Below. So I had let her know, like, I am picking up an order, and that's it. And she's like, okay. And I explained to her, we're just going in. We're going to pick up the order. I said, I want to see, I don't know what they're called. If you guys know what they're called, they're like the soft hair ties. They're not elastics. They don't have anything in the middle. They're just that like soft material. They're usually like really, really tiny. I use those for her hair because her hair is much finer. And it doesn't rip her hair out. But for some reason, every time my kid's hair is up in them, they never come back to mommy. They always miraculously get put somewhere else. And if you ask her, where did that hair tie go? The answer is, I don't know. So I was like, let me see if they have these over at Five Below while we're picking this up. And then it turned into, she wanted to know what we were picking up, why we were picking it up, what we were doing. Can I look at this? Can I buy this? And I'm like, no, kid, like I'm literally just here to pick up my order and see if they have these hair ties. And then we had a huge fight, her and I, because my it's none of your business conversation didn't go the way she wanted it to. I didn't tell her what I had picked up because I wasn't trying to be like, hey, you've acted like a butthole. Here's a reward. I got them for future. Like my goal was the next time she took a bath to just bust them out and put them in the tub. And she just could not comprehend when I said to her, like, what I picked up. She said, what's in there? Why won't you tell me? Why won't you show me? I want to see what it is. What is it? And just a million questions. And then it was getting aggressive. And I was like, girl, it's none of your business. And when mommy tells you that, you need to understand that. Like, not everything that I do in this world needs to be shared with you. Of course, that made her super angry. And then this kid went from like, I'm frustrated and I'm trying to be nosy, to just full on freaking out about it. And I was like, girl, this is not helping your cause. And I know somebody's probably like, well, you could have just told her what it was. But then it would turn into, but I want it now. I want to see it. Can I touch it? Can I have it? Can I hold it? And that's not what it was for. So that was super fun. And that spiraled real fast. And then we had to go pick up my husband. But we had an awkward amount of time. So we actually like wandered around where he works and enjoyed what we were doing. But it was just rough. Like, I don't know. Sometimes she gets stuck in these modes of just everything is way more difficult than it should be. And like, you can't have a conversation with somebody who's already shut down. Like, nothing you tell them is it's gonna go in one ear and out the other. Or it's just gonna add fuel to the fire. Like, they're not gonna absorb anything. So that was super fun, but really frustrating to deal with her. But, you know, life of a parent, you do what you got to do. So fun fact, those ducks are still in my car. She still has not seen them. She also lost her target ducks that I was just talking about. She didn't lose them. They were taken away from her. How am I on time? I can't see the camera. Sorry, guys. Okay. I had to put my hand up for a moment. Where the timer is on the screen is, the screen is cracked there. So I thought it was just because the light reflecting, but it's because that's where the crack is. I couldn't see what it said. Anywho, I hope that you guys are having a good week. I feel like sometimes I come on here and all I do is just like whine and complain, but that's not what I'm trying to be doing. Because other times I'm not like that at all. Let's see. Are you going to be a mistake here, Lindsay? These are, okay, I bought these forever ago. Like when I first started diamond painting and I wanted to label my containers because I didn't have a Xyron sticker maker or I didn't think I needed one or whatever it may be. So I got, am I doing the right letter? Yes. These are masking tape rounds and I literally, for containers like this, I just have the focus symbol and the number. Anyway, but I forgot to put the symbol. I just put the number. So then I was like, what am I working on? So here's, I'm guessing this is supposed to be black. I don't know. Because usually black drills for a crystal kit are just regular, like standard 310. But these are definitely crystals. But they don't have DMC numbers on them. So I have to go look at the conversion kit in the Crystal Canvas Facebook group, which is there if you guys are ever curious. Anyway, where am I at? Then the next day was, oh, wait a minute. After we picked up the ducks. So later that day, before we visited my husband at work, God, this is like the highlight of the week. My daughter had her hair appointment. She has been waiting very impatiently for this forever. She was mad that I couldn't take her sooner. And I was like, girl, like, I have to go based off of your stylist availability. And she is very sought after. And she also has limited hours because she's also a mom. And so she runs her salon in hours that work for her. Fine. But I can't always get Briar in when I need to based off of her schedule. So I finally got her in. If you guys saw the reel I posted on Instagram, my kiddo she now has purple hair. I will insert a photo of her here. She loves it, you guys. It is super purple in some lights and then super blue in other lights. I am just over the moon with how much she loves it. And we've had conversations because I don't want her to like have her entire self-identity tied to something that is vain. And I can see how much confidence it gives her, but I also don't want her feeling less confident about herself when she has her natural blonde hair. Because this is not something that's sustainable forever to always have her hair colored. But I was never allowed to touch my hair. Even still, I dyed my hair, I want to say it was over the summer. And I only did it because I felt like my daughter doing her hair gave me permission that it's okay to do mine. And even still, like as a woman in her 40s, my mother gave me the backhanded compliment of like, well, if this is something that you like, good for you, you know. And it's like, I love it. I think it looks fabulous. I think you only live once, and it's a really great way for self-expression. And my rule with Briar is like absolutely no bleach. Maybe when she's older, we'll revisit that. But she's got baby hair and she's got really fine hair, and I just don't want her to damage her hair. But I give her a lot of freedom when it comes to her own hair and what she wants to do with it. There are certain rules, like we do have to brush it, contrary to her belief. And ice skating is always a rule of your hair has to be up. That was something the coaches told her, not me. So she knows, like, if she's super mad about it, like, girl, I'm just enforcing. But she's like over the moon. And so she was excited to then go to where my husband works to show him and all of his coworkers her new purple hair. And, you know, it's fun when you can see, like, she has so much confidence. And, like, I love seeing that in general because she's, you know, a little girl. And I want her to feel good about herself and to feel beautiful without it coming from somebody else's validation. And she was just sitting there, like, staring at herself in the mirror. You could tell, like, she was really feeling herself. And, yeah, so, you know, we went and actually saw my mother-in-law, which I'll talk about later in the week. And I was like, so what do you think? And she's like, yeah, it's something. And I was like, you know, like, you could at least feign excitement for her. But it suits her. It suits her very well. But, yeah, so we did that. And then Friday, we did the whole school routine. Grabbed myself some Dunkin'. I'm debating if I want to change the wax in this pen. See if you guys can you guys tell? Let's see. You can see, like, a lot of the shimmer comes off. But then you don't want to put new wax in because new wax is a pain with special drills. And I forget how long it takes to pick up special drills. Like, I'm like, ugh, it's going to take me forever to work on this kit. But it won't. It just, I think I want to change the single. I don't really want to. You guys, this is like the thought process in my mind right now. Oh, there's like no wax in here, so that's good. And I am using, I've talked about these before. I am obsessed with these plastic tips for special drills. I mean, I also use them for like my everyday tip on this pen, but I think they're fantastic. They come in all the Dreamer Designs kits. I just got a pack of them off of Amazon. Let's see. Okay. Also, notice if you don't load it all the way, it doesn't stick as much, but then you have to fill it more often. Anyway, tangent. So we had our private lesson, and she finished her star jar, you guys. I'm so excited for her. So we have officially earned our reward to go get a manicure and pedicure, and we did not do that on Friday. Ignore me. We finished that a different day, but we got close to it on Friday. But she did a pretty good job on Friday. And I'm just, I was trying to sign up for her lessons. That's what it was on Friday. And at the same time as paying for her ice time on Friday, and I couldn't do both. But the other rink passed us for learn to skate, which is not the same as being passed for competitive reasons. Like, in learn to skate, they just teach you, like, the recreational skills. But I wanted to make sure our coach, like, where she wanted us to sign up for, like, what level for the rink that she works at, because she didn't agree that they should pass her. And I gave her the sheet. And she's like, do you mind if I take this? And I was like, no. So she took the sheet that had Briar's report card. It had all of the skills that they had her do and all of the pass marks next to it. And she was definitely like, okay, there's no way this kid passed this. And she took the sheet out and she made Briar do all the skills that she was asked to do to pass the report card. And she said, okay, I'll allow it. I'm like, okay, so where do you want me to sign her up? So we signed her up for the Monday Learn to Skate. And then now we're going to do, instead of doing Monday, Thursday, Friday, we're going to do Monday, Friday, Saturday. After much back and forth, we opted not to do the auditions for the synchro. You know, besides the fact that I know her coach was not super happy with me about it, the coach of the synchro team basically ignored me after we went for the try lesson for free. Even though my kiddo skated really well, her behavior off ice was not good. And I understand, I gotta tread lightly on how I say this. I understand that when you are a business owner of any kind of capacity, and in this case, she is the one who created and runs this team, that people assume, because we live in a digital age, that if you email, text, Facebook message, whatever, that you should be responded to right away. My problem is I had reached out to her to ask if the information had ever been emailed. And I was sat for a very long time. It was over a week of not responding. And only after she sent me the email for the stuff did she say, oh, I just sent it out. But the way it was worded to me made me also realize, like, they don't really want my kid there, which is a really shitty feeling to constantly be met with that, because, like, my kid is talented. I understand she's not performing to the behavior level that you want, but she's also a little kid and she's still learning her way around this world. So for those reasons, we opted to not take her to do synchro, because I don't want to do something that they don't really want her there, and it's also going to upset her private coach at the same time. Whether this is something my daughter wanted or not. So I signed her up for the Saturday class, which is the Aspire, as I mentioned earlier. And we went to, I took my husband to work. And then I had this weird amount of time where, like, I didn't have enough time to take her home and, like, really get her ready for the day. So I had to get up early to get her moving so she could be ready for the day by the time we had to take my husband to work. And then we had enough time, barely, for me to come home and, like, take a quick shower while she played. She has a nugget couch, and she likes to, we call it that she's in the hole. She stacks up the pieces that have the holes in them. There's 2 that have squares, 2 that have circles, and, like, it's just like an upright tube, and she just sits in. If you guys don't know what a nugget couch is, it's a couch. It's something that you can make it a seat. It comes with, like, 12 cushions. We have an off-brand one, and you just stack them up and you use it for imagination play. But for her, she really likes this hole that she keeps making. So she, like, hung out in her hole while I took a shower, and then I took her to the rink. And we signed up for Aspire. This is also something that's frustrating. It is what it is. The calendar of Aspire and the calendar of Learn to Skate do not align with each other. So, unfortunately, my kiddo is joining the Aspire lessons halfway through the session. So her coach is there. She said, oh, we're going to put her in the group number for the spring program. Is that fine? I said, yeah, that's fine. Actually, that was one of my driving forces for signing her up, is that I wanted her to be able to skate more than once if possible. And so now she is trying to keep up with all these people who've had 3 additional weeks of practice. And so they put her next to the other little kid and said, do everything she does. And so she's keeping up with her. And this little girl and her, they have skated together plenty of times. And it's funny because I've often said to my husband, like, I feel like she's very aggressive with our daughter, but it worked out really well for what they needed to do, because she already knew the program. And she was like, Briar, turn around. Briar, come here. Briar, like, and my kid is just blindly trying to figure out what's happening, which is totally understandable. And, you know, she's just trying to figure out what the next move is because she's never done this program. But it's very, very cute. And then they did the off ice, and something that frustrated me is that, like, my daughter likes to bring a comfort item with her a lot of times. Sometimes at school, like, she'll have something and she'll put it on, like, her keychain, or she'll put it in her backpack. Like, she knows she's not allowed to bring toys to school, but if it's on a keychain, then she's like, it's a keychain. I'm like, okay, well, it's still, but she also has her stash of fidgets that she's allowed to have and things like that. And at the rink, she wanted me to bring her Hello Kitty plush and have Hello Kitty watch her skate. Fine, sure. But then when it was time to do off ice, she wanted to take Hello Kitty with her. And I was not allowed in the room because they were in a small room with a lot of people, and the parents just waited outside. Now, other than that little girl that's also in the group, most of these girls are much older, like at least a couple years older, that some of them, I don't even think their parents were there. Like, I think they just get dropped off and then picked back up. But it was frustrating because I said, how did she do? And they said, oh, she was okay, but, you know, she listened pretty well, but she got upset because we told her she couldn't have Hello Kitty in there. And I understand that rules are rules, like, I'm not saying, but there is no rule that, like, you're not allowed to bring something with you. Like, that's not explicitly stated anywhere. And her coach made a comment about, like, she kind of caused the tantrum because she took it away from her. And I'm just like, I don't understand why she couldn't just have this plush next to her to work out. Or that you say, okay, you know, you have it with you this time, but next time you have to leave that at home. Because it's a comfort item, and I think that a lot of times, they forget she's a little kid. I think the biggest problem is there's another little girl that skates with our same coach, who is a couple years older than my daughter. But she comes from a very different kind of family than ours. She's a very disciplined kind of child. She listens, she follows all of the rules. She's just that kind of kid. And my child is not that kind of kid. And I don't foresee her being that kind of kid. So it's a bit frustrating because, like, I think she's like, well, I would never let her do it. Yeah, but that little kid doesn't need to have something like that to make it through the day, whereas my daughter does. And I was like, it felt weird to be, it was almost boastful that she was like, oh yeah, I caused her to have a tantrum. Like, I don't know. It just, I don't think she meant it that way, but that's how I took it, and I didn't super love that. But I had explained to my kiddo, like, okay, so these are the rules, and mommy can bring it to watch you skate, but she has to stay with mommy when you do your off ice. And she's like, okay, mommy. Like, she wasn't happy, but you can't rationalize with a kid. You take away the comfort item, you can't rationalize with her in that moment. Like, you have to let her work through it. So that was, but you know, I'm also trying to figure out my way in this world now of Aspire classes. And there were so many coaches there today. I mean, yesterday, or whatever day it was. Holy moly. But yeah, we did that. I'm excited about that. And her and I had some lunch after we skated. She skated, I didn't skate. And it was so frustrating because she did the same thing where, like, she literally was begging to go out to eat. So I took her out to eat. We got to the restaurant. She ordered her food, refused to touch it, and then only started to eat after, like, I was completely done. but we were in some, like, a place that had, like, really long waits for people to sit down. I was like, Briar, we don't have the luxury of sitting here for another 45 minutes while you decide you want to eat. Like, this is why mommy doesn't like taking you out to eat sometimes, because you do this all the time. And, of course, no, I don't. Like, yes, you do. You do this at home, you do this at a restaurant, but at home, you know, we can just... Yeah. So, we had a good day, her and I, and she drew an axolotl. That's, like, her thing right now. She loves drawing axolotls. And it's funny, we sent the picture to my husband, and, like, later in the day, he's like, I have to show you this picture of an axolotl I drew. And Briar's like, that looks just like mine. It was the same picture, but she just really was like, but it was great. And then we ended up going, we wanted to do dinner, and, like, as a family. So we went to this Mexican restaurant that's, like, close to my house, and right next door to it is a Rita's water ice. Now, this is only going to be relevant to the people who have Rita's. Because I learned in one of my videos, I think I don't know if it was here or on Instagram, that Rita's, like, water ice is a pretty regional thing. If you don't know what that is, it's Italian ice. So, I have a friend whose child is also dye-free, and she had put up a post forever ago, and I saved it, that had all of the flavors of the custard, the water ice, and the cream ice that were dye-free. So I walk up to the window, and I see they only had a handful of water ice flavors, and most of the ones that were on the list of dye-free were not available that day. So I said, what about your cream ice flavors? You guys, the girl that was working there looked at me like I had 12 heads. She's like, cream ice? And I go, yeah, it's like water ice, but it's made with a cream base. And she's like, oh, I think you mean like a blendini. No, I don't mean anything with custard. I don't mean anything that's not an ice product. It's just cream ice. You guys sell like 100 flavors of it. The cream ice is more like your cookie-ish flavors, like your chocolate chip cookie, your brownie, like things like that. Whereas your water ice is a lot more fruit flavored. So you have like your peach, your cherry, your mango, your lemon. And she is just looking at me, and I go, cream ice. Do you not have any cream ice flavors? And she's like, I think you're talking about, and I was like, no, it's called cream ice. And she's just staring at me. And I'm just like, I wanted to be like, can you ask someone else who works here? Like,
she did, and the other girl had no clue either.
I don't think she asked her. I think she just walked away. But, you know, they're all like 16 years old, which is fine. But like, they literally advertise it on their website, on their Facebook. And I'm just like, either they discontinued it between last summer and this summer, or like this girl was not trained. But she made me look like I was an idiot, because she's like, well, you mean this then? I'm like, no, I don't. I mean, it's literally cream ice. And the cream ice list has so many flavors that she could do. There was like a peanut butter one, a chocolate one. And it's a very weird thing if you've ever eaten the cream ice, because it is like the same texture as a like Italian ice, but it's creamy based. It's very strange. But anyway, we had that, and I am gonna leave it at this, because the next day we had such a fantastic day, but I have so much to talk about that I don't want to really get into it right there. So this week I put up an unboxing. If you're watching this in real time, I put it up yesterday for a kit from Shimmering Canvases that was sent to me. I have another Shimmering Canvases unboxing to share with you guys. I have a Enablers Outpost one to share with you guys. I have a video, just like a fun little video of a time lapse to put out. Just a few little things like that. But I do want to say, if you guys are interested in going to the ACDP Diamond Painting Retreat next month, please reach out to me either via Instagram or my email, which is always listed down below. We have a couple spots available. We would love for you guys to be able to come. I do know that it is last minute. It is more than likely going to be people who are within like the tri-state area that are willing to make the drive. That we are near a train station. We are near an airport. So there are ways to come in if you are willing to travel. But I would love for you guys to be there. If you guys made it all the way to the end, well, we were talking about Mexican and water ice, so leave me your favorite food emoji down below. If you guys like this video and you'd like to see more videos like this or nothing like this at all, please make sure to give this video 2 thumbs up. One real life, one virtual. Make sure you guys hit that subscribe button. Come join the Sparkle Squad, and while you're there, hit that notification bell.
Yay.
I do not operate on any sort of schedule. I operate on toddler standard time, and I record when my tiny human is sleeping or sleeping. Thank you guys so much for being here. I'll see you in my next one. Bye, guys.